Good morning. Yesterday afternoon I glued on a block to this bow, to the recurve, and I glued on buffalo horn tips with AE40. And then this morning I woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, and my wife was sleeping, my son was working, and I cut string grooves in. And the other thing I noticed, I'm going to show you my tillering stick that I have. My tillering tower, I noticed that when I put this on, that the string was offset a little bit. In other words, where you catch the string in those teeth, it wasn't directly underneath the bow. So then began the next project. Let me grab this and show you. Okay, so I said I have to make it so that when I put a bow here from 1.5 wide to 2 inches wide, I could put a bow here and shim it with the blocks, and that bowstring I can make center line with these notches. And that's what I did. I cut the end off here, put part of a bracket that I cut. I used JB Weld epoxy and a screw. I pre-drilled the hole so I wouldn't split it, and I put a screw in there. So this is solid now. It's glued solid. And I said, wow, it looks so good. Let me start tillering the bow. So I did. I actually got the bow tilled pretty good going down, and I'm going to show you the steps I took to get to the point where I am with the bow. Okay, there's a center line on this riser, and then I marked where the fade outs were. And what happened was this fade out was the bottom of the handle was out more, so they weren't even. So I used the sander to bring it back and cut this curve out to make it actually even. So from the center point to the fade outs on each side, from the center point to the fade outs on each side are now equal. Then what I did was I ran a straight edge underneath, and you could see where I marked where the bend started. Okay, and I double checked from the bottom of the string groove to that mark, and it's the same on both sides. And then what I did was I started tillering it. So I'm going to show you how I tilled it. Okay, you can see we got that 1-inch backset there. When you put it on the recurve, make sure that the strings are in the grooves, okay, before you pull it down. Okay, what we're going to do is pull it down and start to get a bend on it. I'm going to go a little past level on this here. Okay, we're going to take this to the fade out mark. This is a ruler here to the bottom, and we're going to look. And if you look, you can see we have a mirror image. Okay, you can see we have a mirror image going on. Check out the mirror image. And what happened was maybe the outer limb wasn't bending, so I marked it with a pencil. Then I removed some material. Then I went back inside, back and forth. I sanded a little by hand. And let's go down a little further. I did that over and over again and went down 1 inch at a time. Okay, I dropped it down a few inches now just to show you. Look at that beautiful mirror image, and the distance is the same here as it is here. Okay, look at that. Ain't that, it looks beautiful, right? Okay, and this was all 5 o'clock in the morning. I do things like that. And what we're trying to achieve is trying to get a string on this. So we got to go down a little more. We're going to have to remove some weight. I'm going to go try and get the hunting weight. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Let's check it out. We still got that beautiful bend going on that I made. Once you start this micro tillering that Keith Shannon pointed out, he helped me with, And you can watch Tillering, a 1,000-year-old bow that he has. There's a couple of Tillering videos he has, Keith Shannon, on YouTube, and they're great to watch. So here we go. Let's check out that bend. Isn't that a beautiful bend? Okay, and the other thing is now, I noticed that this limb now looks like it's slightly going to twist. It's slightly on the lean. And I'm almost at the point where I could put on a string, but I want to correct that. I want to correct this twist as soon as I can. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to go down just a little more. I don't want to create the twist any worse than it is. I just want to get a string on it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to look for a string. I'm going to look for a short string and put it on. And what I think I'm going to have to do is heat up that outer limb and turn it a little bit before it creates a problem. It's barely visible, but you can see it. So I'm going to stop it here, unstring it, and look for a string. Put a short little string on. Okay, and I just want to show you that the one limb is aligned perfectly, okay? And this is the limb I was talking about. You can see it's running off, right? So we have to put a pencil mark on which way I got to bend this, okay? This limb has to go this way. It has to twist down like this, okay? So this side, this has to go down. This side has to go down here, okay? Twist it down. So we got to find the spot where it looks like it's twisting up, and I would say it's right about here, okay? Right about there where it starts to twist, and we're going to straighten it out. Now that I have this secured where I think it starts to twist, it's in the curve part. What I'm going to do is measure from here to the outer edge, and it looks like it's about 34. So the goal is to get it to bend, to twist a little bit more down past that 34 mark. And how we're going to do that is we're going to use leverage and heat. So we're going to put this clamp on, snug it up. Okay, then we're going to add some weight here and we're going to heat it. Okay, that slight little bit, watch. See that slight little bit? When I heat it up, it'll go down a little bit. I'll have to watch that. I don't go too far down. I'll heat it, check it, heat it, check it. The belly of the bow is the part that faces your belly. You're going to always heat the belly to make the changes. Okay, heating this up is trial and error too. A little at a time, gradual, like you're tillering, a little at a time. And we don't want to overshoot our mark. So I heated it up. I'm going to let it cool. And we're going to see when I take this clamp off how much spring back we got. And that'll depend on whether I hit it again or not. There's always more than one way to take care of a twist. So we have this flush. And I got the tip torqued down to where it needs to be. And we're going to heat the belly up. Belly's the part that faces your belly, and see if we can get it to take that set. The first time didn't work. I heated it up for 4 minutes. Let's see if we have much spring back. It took a bit of a set. I think we might be good. Okay, let me tell you about this stave I used, this bow blank that I cut out. If you saw my last recurve video, I had this stave, and I was going to make a recurve out of it, wider, all the way down. And then I realized because of the handle, I had to add a handle. I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on it. you know, I knew there'd be pressure with them big curves. So this is kind of my longbow speed design. It was 8 inches, tapered down. It was a 1/2 inch to 3/8 of an inch, tapered down 8 inches. And then it went to 1 1/4 at the midpoint and the 1 1/2 at the fade out. Okay, that's the longbow design. So I wasn't going to, so what I did was, since this needed a handle on it, I said, you know, I'm not going to use this for the recurve. I'm going to put this away for one of my longbows, okay? Well, I have a lot of longbows. I made 2 for each of my boys, 2 for me. You know, we have enough longbows, and they're really fast. So what I decided to do was, if I'm going to make a bow with somebody, I'm going to let them make their own design, you know, cut it out, shape it out, do all the work themselves. So I got this blank out and said, you know, if I'm going to make the curve shorter, it won't be that much pressure. I'll be able to glue a riser block on it, and I'll be able to take 2 inches off of this limb, so it'll be 6 inch, and it'll just fit around that curve on my jig, and it should hold up. Okay, so normally on a recurve, you look at my last recurve video at the design of the width and all, okay? And that's the width you really should use. You shouldn't use this little skinny design for a recurve like I'm doing now. Okay, but what I did was, I think I took that little bend out, and I put the grooves, string grooves in each side. Okay, put some string grooves in, and we're going to string it up and see if it's aligned. And if not, we're going to do it again. But I did, when I clamped it down, I got enough movement and set that I think I'm good. Okay, but just in case anybody's seen this little skinny bow I'm making a recurve out of, they said, what's he doing? You know, he's out of his mind. It's too skinny. You know, you got runoff or whatever. Well, I had the stave. I'm using this stave, okay? And we're going to see if it works out. It's going to be really fast. Okay, let me show you what I got. Okay, it's aligned for now. Time to do a little more tillering. Short brace height. The brace height's 4 5/8. From this fade out, it's 5 5/8. Five 5/8 from the midpoint to the limb that I have marked. 4 1/2 on the outside. 4 1/2 on the outside. Believe it or not, of course, I did that early micro tillering last night, even with the bend. It's even. Okay. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. I'm going to check it. Look at that beautiful bend. Beautiful bend. And the reason I pulled it down to there, because I'm going to try and put a regular string on it now. I'm going to put a regular string on there. As most of you know, the string will favor one side over the other, and that'll determine if you're righty and it favors the left. That's the way it should be set up for you. Okay, so this way it'll be like cut past center. It'll be easier to tune an arrow. Okay, if you're lefty, you want it the opposite. Okay, so you want it on the right side. So if you look down this, let's see if you can look at this here. It's hard to tell, but it's kind of favoring this side. Okay. I don't know how much trouble that top limb's going to give me if it dips when I pull it. But so far, It's looking fairly good. Okay, we're going to do a quick check. See how the bend is. And you couldn't ask for more of a better bend than that, okay? Look at that. It's absolutely perfect. It's 46 pounds at 22 inches. I have to get to 26 and a half. So we're almost there. Might have to reduce a little bit of weight. Just a little bit of weight first, and then we'll see how far we can get it down, because it's bending perfect all the way down. That's that early tillering with the yardstick. No matter how you tiller, when you put a yardstick to it, you can just pick out the spots. They kind of jump out at you, what needs to be taken, all right? Where the flat spots are, where's the shallow spot, okay? So try it. You'll try it, and I'm sure it'll help you out. Okay, everything was aligned pretty good, you know, until I pulled back and got down to like 23 inches, and the string wants to pop off because the limb's torquing. The further you pull it back, the more it starts to walk over. So I'm going to try and make another limb correction, another little bend correction, and we'll see what happens. Another 4 minutes. We'll see what happens. I have it even. 6-inch brace height. And as I pull it back, that limb torques still. It torques to the right. And the more I pull it back, the more it walks over. So I got to correct it one more time. Okay, I'm going to try another tactic. I'm going to try heating this up from the fade out all the way down. I'm going to heat this section up. Got a little weight. And I'm going to heat this up again next and see if that'll take care of it. It's just very frustrating. That's why I love the longbows. The fire hardened longbows with that skinny design, they're really fast, and you don't have to deal with all this limb torquing, fine tuning, you know. But we're going to give it a shot, see what happens. Well, I got leverage here. I heated this up for 5 minutes. I heated this up for 5 minutes. I heated the center again for 5 minutes. And then we'll just see what happens. We'll see if it keeps popping off or not. You know, and that's why, again, I say I love the tapered limbs on the fire hardened longbows. They're fast, and you don't have to fuss with them. Okay, I took it off. I even lowered the groove on this side a little bit. Lowered it to put a little more stress on this side. And it's less of a pullback. We'll see if it comes off when I put it on the jig and pull it down with a scale. Everything's even across the board. It's bending perfect. It's just a little twist. Let's see what we get here. Okay, I got 47 at my draw weight. Now let's take it off and see what happened to the string. Let's take it off and see what happened to the string. Here's the string. Okay, I took it off. And what I'm going to do is, I got 47 at my draw length. And what I'm going to do is shape it up now. Cut a shelf. I'm going to shoot it a little bit. Short draw, shoot it a few times. I want the limb to settle in. And then before I make any more corrections, I just want to shoot a couple arrows through it. Got a couple of days of cold weather, nasty weather coming up. I shaped the grip. The top limb is still a little bit of a problem. When I pull it back, it'll want to bend over. But I want to take a couple of shots. I'm probably going to wind up taking weight off. I wanted a hunting weight bow, and I rounded the edges. I sanded it. I tried to get it to be aligned a little better. And right now I got a 42-pound bow at my draw length. These are heavy hunting arrows. Let's see how they fly. These are 500 spine, the vintage arrows, Black Eagle, with 210 grains up front. Gotta be honest, flies pretty fast. But you see, after I shoot it, you see the limbs a little on the side. And I have to track it over. I figured if I could do this and shoot it a couple times, see what happens before I play with it. Just about touching arrows down there. And of course that limb twist, that's twisting as I'm releasing and hawking the string and the shots. But I just wanted to shoot this a little today. Okay, let me try I only shoot 10 and 15 with a hunting bow. This may be, I may reduce the weight and try to take the twist out. This may be another 3D bow, I don't know. I'm just hoping I could take the limb twist out. And once again, this stave was not meant to be a recurve. It's that narrow limb design meant to be one of those fast longbows, okay? But I had it sitting in the garage and I says, I'll try and recurve it. Why? You know, because it's there. So I may, I'll have to work on it. I don't know if I got to steam it, straighten it, put it on a jig. I'll see what I got to do. Let me shoot that deer over there. That's, see, this is real close now. So this is 10 yards. That deer over there is 15 yards by the bag target. Let me try and shoot that. Oh, just didn't hold high enough, but it went good. I brought a bear shaft, but there's no point in shooting a bear shaft when you got a twisted limb. Let me go get those arrows. We'll take a look. I'll get those arrows and shoot again. Okay, not bad with a springy limb, right? Let me go get him and shoot again. Okay, once again, we're at 10 yards. And then let's try that deer at 15 yards. Oh, a little high. I went high because it went low. Pretty fast, though. You got to admit, it's pretty fast. Try another one down there. Right there, okay? Actually, 15 is point on with this. All right, let's try 20 down there. Not bad. Let's go check it out. I mean, it's a good shooting bow, and I didn't correct it. You see how I corrected it every time? Those past shots, I didn't correct it. In other words, I would take a shot and move it over. I didn't do that with these shots. Let's just see. Okay, we got 10. We got 15. And we got 20. Okay, a couple things I wanted to talk about. The reason I made this video was because I was having problems tillering a bow with those big recurves, okay? So the whole point about this is this bow has less of a big recurve. So it's a 5.5-inch radius, right? Which mean 11-inch circle, okay? If you took a quarter of that, that's what I was making. And that quarter is too much. So it wound up being less than that. Maybe not a quarter of the circle. Was it a quarter of the circle? Was it an eighth? Maybe a little more than an eighth? It was, okay, on a jig. You know, you look at the beginning of the video, you see where I drew the lines and the jig, so you can imitate it if you want. But look, it's a really nice, snappy recurve. Other than me choosing the wrong design because I had skinny limb bow blank made, you know. But if I made thicker limbs, like I did in the first video, okay, that first video, only if I used less of a curve, I would have had an outstanding bow. It would have lasted a long time. But this is fast and snappy, and I'll take care of that. I don't care if I got to steam it or whatever, but I'll get it right. So that's the end of this video. Just wanted to tell you, don't put big giant recurves. That was the whole gist of this whole thing. Okay? Make reasonable curves. Otherwise, you defeat the purpose. You're putting too much stress on everything. Okay? Look, it looks pretty good, right? See? It looks good. All right. Every day that you wake up is a good day. Make a bow, go out and shoot.